trying to escape from the curses I was born to break, finding a way to overcome my fears. I am strong enough. There might be some bumpy roads ahead, but I'm equipped. I've learned some great lessons. The power lies in me. Now I see so clearly. All my steps are destined. I'm going in the right direction. Gotta keep believing in myself. Gotta keep going, don't give up. Yes, I'm gonna see this through. Yeah, I put my trust in you. The only way out is to go within. Now I see you're my best friend. Yes, I finally found my peace. I know that I can trust in me. It's a blessing that I've come this far. 'Cause when you feel alone, I know it can get hard. But I'm choosing gratitude, grace, love, and peace. You're always with me. All my steps are destined. I'm going in the right direction. Yeah. Gotta keep believing in myself. Gotta keep going, don't give up. Yes, I'm gonna see this through. Yeah, I put my trust in you. The only way out is to go within. Now I see you're my best friend. Yes, I finally found my peace. I know that I can trust in me. I am connected to a love that never runs out. I am connected to a source that never runs out. I am connected to a love that never runs out. I am connected to a source that never runs out. I am connected to a love that never runs out. I am connected to a source that never runs out. I am connected to a love that never runs out. I am connected. I gotta keep believing in myself. Gotta keep going, don't give up. Yes, I'm gonna see this through. Yeah, I put my trust in you. The only way out is to go within. Now I see you're my best friend. Yes, I finally found my peace. I know that I can trust in me. Believing in myself. Gotta keep going, don't give up. Yes, I'm gonna see this through. I put my trust in you. The only way out is to go within. Now I see you're my best friend. Yes, I finally found my peace. I know that I can trust in me.
All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. I know across the country in various places, it is cold, has been cold. Even in places like LA, they're 55 degrees is cold for them. Oh, I hope everyone is doing really well tonight. Make sure that you, of course, like and share the post. I know we're going to experience some transitions just because of the fact that I know that people are still connected to Bishop. They're still connected to what Bishop represented. And people love to hear Bishop. But the expanding conscious community is still here. We're going to be here. We're going to push forward. I just want, here's the thing, anyone that is tapped in and tuned in and listening right now, you will be gifted. You will be blessed. Not that anyone else won't be blessed if they're not tapped in and tuned in, but I'm just letting you know that what happens in today's society is that we have these people that we look forward to or look up to, which is wonderful. And sometimes those people represent, in the past especially, these people represent something. Understand? And they are Carlton Pearson can't be replaced. How many agree with me that Carlton Pearson can't be replaced? Right? We sometimes want that person to be replaced, but what happens is you'll get someone that's a little different, someone that may not be exactly what you envision, um, especially with the expanded conscious family, right? One of the things that statistically I've been looking at a lot of the reviews, not, I'm sorry, looking at a lot of the analytics, and it says, we're between 45 to 65 plus on YouTube. 85 or 90%, 85 to 90% of the people that watch are not subscribed. Most of them are female. I like to look at this data, right? Another piece of data that it tells me that you guys make sure you're paying attention and listening, because what happens is you talk about discernment and you talk about what's going on in the world. We talk about expanding and expansion of consciousness. And the thing is people transition. People leave this planet. And what we have left of those individuals, especially people that's powerful like Bishop Carlton Pearson, in terms of the words that they speak, he left a lot. He left a lot of content on the internet. There's some at Harvard, but ultimately, he left something in your heart. How many people out there can say that you're here and you're here a part of this, even though I'm the one that's leading, and I've been around him quite a bit. But how many of you guys and gals are feeling some kind of connection to the expanded conscious family, right? If feeling some kind of connection to Bishop Carlton Pearson, some kind of connection that gives you the strength and something that gives you the ability to carry on. Last week we had D.E. Polk and we showed some of the I showed some of the words that he said, but it ended in that song that said, I feel like going on. So what does that mean? Do you feel like going on or do you not feel like going on? How many of you feel like going on? And do you want to keep going on the same way it's been going on? One of the statistical facts that YouTube has showed me is that a lot of people that watch this channel also watch a lot of gossip Christian material. No big deal. I think it's kind of intriguing and interesting. But it shows me all the channels that people watch. It shows me the videos that people may watch. It is so intriguing and interesting. But tonight, we're going to keep it going. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep it interesting and intriguing. And instead of sensationalizing you and giving you something to talk about some other person that's in the church, right? That's one thing that we seem to like to do is we like to, watch the things where it's like, who's talking about the church in Dallas, right? The man that was a part of Azusa, who likes to talk about that person or talk about somebody. But what we want to talk about is you. And we want to talk about you, and we're going to talk about you, and we're going to talk about us, and we're going to talk about love, and we're going to talk about Christ and Christ consciousness and the awakening that's happening. And you know what? When the numbers seem to settle, we're doing really well. But I want the numbers to settle with the tightest group of people that love each other and love themselves and want to actually now take this to the next level of who we are. And since you are here with me, guess what? You're going to get a special treat. I got some special treats. Not only do we have Brother Jackson, right? Prodigal, leaving church, finding God. This is going to be powerful and unique and dynamic because this is a real person, right? And what I mean, a real person that's dealt with real issues, that has, you know what I mean, has experienced life, right? We don't have another, bless him, theologian that's just going to be sitting up here talking about whose God is right. And we have some great theologians, but you guys that are here right now are going to get blessed with something special. And I'll be doing this more, especially as I figure out this community stuff. Check this out. 2014, maybe 15. Had to be 15. 2015. I was with Bishop and we were going to put on an event. And Neil Daughter Wash. And I just so happen to be doing what I do. And I have a lot of footage like this because this is not anything that was commissioned by Bishop. Just like I have some podcast recordings. And I want you guys to hear and see something real special. It's 2 minutes of me talking to Bishop Carlton Pearson in the car in 2015 as he's driving along the way. And I don't know if this particular clip shows him answering the phone with his mother, but I think you're going to be truly blessed. This is really cool. Watch this.
At least the psyche of people, and people want commentary. Nobody in news, nobody secular or sacred television, except somebody denouncing Obama as an antichrist. I would make even a comment about that.
Do you think they do that out of fear?
Yeah, of course. Or Van Impe has a big following of mostly redneck white scared for, but my dad watched him because my dad was 88 and wanted Jesus to come back. Not the end of the world. He just wanted Jesus to come back so he could be rescued. He didn't see his death as rescue. He didn't just want to go to heaven. He wants to change hell on earth by having Jesus come back and interrupt the devil. So that he wouldn't leave us in hell. Because he came back with his little trips from wherever he was going. He said, I had to come back down here to come back down to hell to see what the hell's going on down here. I've got him on video saying that I meant to show it from the memorial service. But he had his own appraisal of things. But me saying hell is here and literal. I used to say I didn't believe in a literal hell. I actually do believe in a literal hell. I don't believe in a spiritual one. I believe that divorce court is hell here. Prison is hell here. Bankruptcy is hell here. Going through family dissonance and hatred, and sometimes a cemetery or a funeral or a mortuary, or standing in an unemployment line, or losing a job, having a big marital fight or child custody issues. All that's hell. War, from Iran to Iraq to a civil rights march. So
The thing that's happening with those people, black people.
hang on, my mom's call.
Huh?
Mom? I don't think it did. Let's flip the top line. Come on. Perhaps maybe.
Isn't that cool? I have so many little clips and things of that nature that I would just let him dialogue and ask questions and dialogue and just to communicate, right? And I guess it was for this moment, to be honest, right? So that we have something that we can still grow. when he was talking about a literal hell, he's like, yes, I believe in a literal hell, right? Everything that people are going through, but also there would be a literal heaven on earth. And so for this moment, I would like to just, anyone that's out there, if you're dealing with anything that you're going through, we know that trouble don't last always. And the other thing I want to encourage you to do is I just want to encourage you to see it as though it's finished, see it as though it's done, and begin to work towards what you believe is done and act like it's already taken place. If this is already happening in your life, if this is something you want, begin to act like it's already done. All right. Well, moving on to this next phase, we want to go ahead and get Brother Don Jackson on this call here. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. I want to welcome Mr. Don Jackson, the author of Prodigal, Leaving Church and Finding God.
How you doing, my man?
Doing really good, sir. Doing really good.
Good.
It's good to see you and connect with you, Mr. LA promoter. E-commerce, dealing with business there in LA. I love it. And also a Church of God in Christ.
Born.
Born. So you actually were born in.
Was actually born in. Yeah.
So we can sing that song officially.
Yeah, I can sing it officially. I was born West We Go Church of God in Christ. In New Orleans, outside of New Orleans. West We Go. That's where I first came to know God.
Wow.
Can't be born in it. Can't join it. You got to be born in it. And I was born in it. And the best time of my life.
Wow. I believe that, such a time as this, when we all have these experiences in life, and knowing that there's a lot of people that are coming into I don't want to say just new understanding, but there's a shift, right? And I think there's something that we still maintain. There's something we still have. Bishop was Kojic. And there's a lot of people that I'm connected to that are Kojic, that are moving into this expanded consciousness, thinking, this Christ consciousness way of living and being. And I know there are millions out there more that are wanting, that are choosing, that are coming into this understanding. And it's also transformative. I believe even in the era that Bishop Mason was going through what he went through, I believe it was transformative what he was doing. And most of us just want to deny or don't want to know the truth of the fact that he was mixing Christianity with hoodoo.
Right.
Laying on hands and doing everything and the movement of the spirit. And I mean, heck, like praise dancing is
everyone conjures. Praise and worship team, every artist you see on stage conjure.
Tell me more.
Lift those hands and say, yeah. We're trying to get you at a level on that vibration so we can connect, and then magnetically we pull you in. And after we pull you in, there's a party. That's what that is.
It's a party, and you could almost say what you want to, because half those pastors won't be saying anything, to be honest.
At all.
They repeating the same thing that they've been saying for the last who knows how long.
Since I've been born.
Yeah, they still saying, some of them still saying the same stuff, reviewing the same stuff, but you got to lift them up and bring them up, right?
Absolutely.
So that you can actually almost like woo them in. So you believe in it, and then they believe in it, and get the offering, and then we repeat this process. Exactly.
And like you said, Bishop Mason, he was a visionary. So what he did was the will of God. That's why he's still standing now. But of course, that's where God was at that time. But of course, he's not there now. The cloud has moved. Bishop Mason did what he knew to do based on the wisdom and knowledge of what God gave him. He started that institution, and it has blessed a lot of families. But at the same time, moving forward, it has damaged a lot of people. I mean,
Yes.
yeah. I mean,
Yes.
church period, not that particular denomination, just church
This church
period
in general.
will damage you if you're not a strong person, because it's almost a virtual to not know about evil, knowing it's just the opposite of good, not knowing that ultimately it's only one thing happening, but how the story goes. You really have no hope because it's so much hierarchy. I mean, you have to listen to your spiritual father, your spiritual pastor. That pastor has to listen to his superintendent. That superintendent has to listen to his overseer, and that overseer has to listen to the bishop. And it's just a change. And I guess the bishop listened to God, and it just keeps going. But it's a money train. It's a membership, and I was born in it. That's my culture. I mean, but I know I see it for what it is, and that's I just outgrown it. That's all.
Yes. Well, and
It's a
I'm
baby.
thankful. I'm thankful of it. We're gonna get to
Absolutely.
your book, but one of the questions and deep questions I have is going through this process and everything you've been through, and your book, of course, talks about leaving the church and finding God. We'll get more into your relationship with Bishop Pearson, but one of the things is I want to know when the word came out and people were talking, it's 2000, I think roughly like 2005 was really when the newspapers, I believe, printed the fact 2005 to 2007 maybe, and they printed a newspaper and they would put it out on national television that Bishop Carlton Pearson um, no longer believes in hell,
Mhm.
and it just went out almost like he was something so different than people that have already transitioned in terms of their faith. I believe you had already started transitioning and that solidified it. I might have other people on the show that done the same thing. Tell me about your experience when you heard the news about Bishop Carlton Pearson has transitioned.
Actually, I was actually like got excited. I mean, he was just confirming some things that I already believed in, just like some other people. I mean, he wasn't the first. So I was just like, oh yeah, oh yeah. So it's kind of gave me a little bit more freedom, to talk about some of those things that was kind of taboo to talk about. Me and my brother used to talk all the time, and some of my other close friends, those that know me, I've always had my opinion. But when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, things about to change. I don't know how, but it's about to change. And we all know the story.
So, yeah, you find out, and did you ever get, of course, listen to any of his talks or anything online, or just to kind of
Always,
see what? Okay,
always, man. Since you guys did start expanded consciousness and all the other reiterations of shows that you guys did, I was listening. I will always listen to Bishop Pearson. I mean, he's always been one of my number one guys. Growing up, people will listen to a whole lot of things going to church. I will listen to people like Reverend Knight. All is mine. So I've always been a progressive in that sense, I should say.
did it? Did any of that help you? Like when you listening to that, all is mine, and some of that
Oh,
manifestation work, and how
absolutely,
has that
man.
helped?
It helped me as a young kid because I've always been an entrepreneur. I mean, by the grace of God, I mean, over the last 35 years, I go to bed when I'm sleeping and I wake up when I'm done. Not to say all those 35 years been honky dory, but I've always been an entrepreneur. Me and my mom, we used to have a boutique, a men's clothing boutique. That's kind of how I got started in the game. And then she turned it over, and I renamed it Action Fashion. I started doing fashion shows and so forth. And then I would bring in artists, local artists, and start bringing in a couple of blues acts, and I was making more money on those shows than I was with the store. So one thing led to another. So I started bringing in other bigger acts, and then of course my name, started to solidify itself. So if anything was going to come through Oklahoma, for like 20 years, you pretty much had to call Don Jackson and my team. We pretty much would either partner up with you or do the show amongst all the other shows that we did over the years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what led up to this?
Man, it's wow.
Tell me,
Really, my whole life
tell us about the book.
My whole life led up to this moment. Really, the way I was raised, the way that everything is a lesson and a blessing, and I think we're all on our personal journey. And that book is really just my personal journey. It takes you back from the beginning of my childhood, growing up in New Orleans, Louisiana, with my siblings of 6, as well as my mom and dad. We left there, came to Tulsa, Oklahoma. My dad was a welder by day, preacher at night. And then, of course, once we moved, we attended a church, St. Paul Church of God in Christ in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then from that point, God laid it on my dad's heart to start his own ministry. And then, of course, that was my formative years, teenage years, when he was starting that church. And then, of course, was never a love and hate relationship, but a teenager. I wanted to do what the other teens were doing at that time, but unfortunately, we had to go build a church. So it's like we'd be playing I lived across the street from a park, Cheyenne Park, and it was like every day that I get off work, it's time to go build a church, knock out walls. But I thank God for that experience that I didn't at that time.
So in that, of course, you go through that whole process, you get saved, you do everything you're supposed to, but then there had to be a transition, because in your book, you talk about like the very beginning, in the introduction, you talk about like, in the beginning, and then you go into later on down, you talk about life began and humans flooded into the world with a little thing called anxiety. You talk about Adam and Eve, you talk about consciousness and higher power. There's a blend of everything that you had experienced, of course, some of the things in church, but then you move it into this Christ consciousness. Tell us, leaving church, what does it mean when you talk about leaving church? And then when did you know you were finding God?
Well, once again, the title of the book is Prodigal. Of course, we played off the metaphor because I was, unquote, the prodigal son, of course, and I didn't come back to church. I just went to God for myself, without any denomination or any other religion. So when we titled the book, that's the metaphor that we played off. God never left me. I've always known God. My parents taught me the fundamentals. They taught me God. I just had a lot of questions that couldn't be answered, and they couldn't answer them, or anyone else couldn't answer them. So, and then of course, I didn't subscribe to a lot of the dogma and so forth, and I just couldn't get with a lot of that. My siblings, they did a lot, but I was the oldest boy, and of course, man, I wanted to get out and experience the world. So I did that, and after living a life almost 60, I decided to tell the story.
And what would you say the story is? Like
That story is that we are not a separate self. Everything is connected. And I found that out when I had a heart attack 9 years ago, January 19th. It was on a Martin Luther King celebration day. I never forget. It was downtown Los Angeles, down in the Garment District, getting ready actually to go to New Orleans for my 50th birthday. And of course, well, it was after my 50th birthday. We was getting ready to go to the celebration. We were getting ready to go to a game. So we were down there buying stuff for the game. That's what it was. And it happened. And that was an experience where once I got to the hospital, they start working on me, and it happened. I literally seen them working on me. So after I had that near-death experience, I had to find out more about what that was, because I always knew that I wasn't born, so therefore I can't not die in that sense. So I experienced that then, which led me to really dive into a lot of other, I wouldn't say teachings, but it's just brought my mind to study a lot of other different things outside of the Bible. And I recommend anyone do that. I mean, the Bible, there's some good stuff in there, but we won't get in. We won't get into that tonight. But whether you study the Bible, you can get some good stuff. You can get some good stuff out of the Quran. You can get some good stuff from Buddhism, Hinduism, all the other isms. So there's truth everywhere. And what you'll find out, everybody is saying the same thing, and everyone is pointing at the same thing. Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, everybody had a message of love. That's it. Love is all there is. It's only one thing happening. Peace and happiness is only one thing happening. And what we have to understand, that we're not a separate self. Case in point, I'm not this body. This body is unconscious, just like this mic is unconscious, just like my phone is in consciousness. That's who we are. It's only one thing happening, and that one thing happening is you. It's like like I tell everybody, it's like 7 billion altars of the one that's emanating, that's permeating as this. But at the end of the day, it's only God's essence happening, him experiencing himself. Now, contrast that to the Christian story. You got to go do some research. Malachi. So it's how you look at it, man. You got to go within yourself and find yourself, because there's only one thing happening. I'm aware, and I know that I'm aware, and I experience. I'm not my flesh. I'm not these thoughts. I am that I am. Case in point, if I can use a metaphor, in this particular room, if we put a fog of smoke in it, and okay, we have this fog of smoke. Now we're going to collapse the walls in this room. We're going to move everything out of this room. We only got this fog of smoke. Now, when this fog of smoke disappear, imagine that as the eye of God. You can't see it, but it's there. It's not objectifiable. It's not nameable. It just is. So it's spaciousness. That's who me and you are. Now, in that same metaphor, we have the smoke. Now, this time, instead of that one eye, when that smoke disappears, you got 7 billion eyes. Now, I'm going to bring Malachi avatar in. I'm going to bring Don avatar in, all the 7 other billion avatars. Now, the ground floor is consciousness. Now, consciousness is playing a game with itself. He's playing 2 games, a finite game and an infinite game.
Keep going.
The finite game is win or lose, survival of the fittest, but it will come to an end. But if you infinite, the game never stops. That's why consciousness continue to experience. That's why now is always now. Now, I don't want to take me too far out there, Malachi.
No,
But
keep going.
At the same time, my whole point is you have to go within yourself to understand that that which is hearing this voice is the only thing that is happening. Consciousness is only one core subjectivity. It's like a feud. It's not an entity. It's an activity. It's a feud. It's like the phenomena. It's like it's nothing to the dance, but the dancer. When the dancer is at a rest, that's consciousness. Everything else, when it's dancing, it's the excitation. That's it, man. And the bottom line is, man, that's why Jesus talked in metaphors. Our ancestors talked in symbols. You can't, it's not objectifiable, so you can't really talk about it because it's not nameable. Because that which you're trying to describe is you.
Y'all ready? Because listen, all these conversations that we can have theologically, we are having. We'll have more of those conversations. But when we really, really want to expand our consciousness and we want to expand who we are, we got to first understand who we are, right? Originally speaking, and what Jesus was trying to say, and even Carlton Pearson would say, is being who we are, but then questioning the beliefs of who we are and what we believe, and what are those beliefs, how do they add or subtract to who you are? Some of it we need to subtract, and what happens is we got to begin to understand how to subtract some of these things. But absolute love, John Thomas, how we do this is through understanding, right? And the fact that I think we can just be and we can just let things go, and we don't have to be held so hardcore to this the book, right? And the book, and is taking us back to what we should do. One of the things I want everyone to know is the spirituality, when in the essence of what it is, even outside of the Bible, it's still a journey. It's still a process. And I will tell you this, you are in the right place at the right time. And I believe this is the right place at the right time, right? Brother, when you experience this near death, right, and you begin to feel that you seeing this work happening to you, evidently you're feeling some kind of next level of love and understanding. Like, you begin to, one of the things I want to pinpoint out tonight, right? Brother Don Jackson is not a bishop, right? He's an entrepreneur, right? He's a business guy, and he's going out doing business. He wrote a book. This is the expansion. This is the manifestation. For everyone that's in the sound of my voice, I like it. We got 125 to 130 people tonight. A lot of times it goes over. But the thing that I like about this is because I want to speak to the conscious people that are movers, motivators, and shakers tonight in this evening. This evening is an evening that talks about manifesting who you are into the flesh, writing your book, telling your story, and living your life as who you are, not just constantly looking for the next hero, or the next Carlton Pearson, or the next.
You're innate is good enough. Just as you are, your innate is good enough. Don't try to be nobody but you. You only have your own personal journey. Don't try to be like me. You might not want to come down my journey. But everyone has their own personal journey. Consciousness, God, higher power, whatever you subscribe to, is experience himself through you.
Yes.
We'll talk about free will another time, because that would be all night.
Oh no! Hey, I've been on the free will I've been on the free will. There's a guy Oh man, he wrote. I can't even think of it, but there's questions in the sense of, do we have free will? Because technically we really don't, but we
Free to
can
choose.
actually have suggestion, right?
We're free to choose based on that which is being pinged up on us. I mean, we can't choose to be a frog.
Right.
We can't
Tall.
will to be a frog, but I can will to drink some water or choose what I want to eat tonight, or we have those kind of choices.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And are you aware of those choices? How do you become more aware of those choices? How to become aware of what choices you don't know that you have, right? That you have to bring yourself into the understanding and the knowledge that, you know what, I might have something deep inside me, but you know what, you have to, some things take work. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And I'm here to tell you right now that Bishop Carlton Pearson has 15 years of videos on this platform. Brother Don Jackson has this book, right? A wonderful book. He has a podcast that's about to come out.
Prodigal.
Right. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be about this. And he's going to want possibly, there's some of you guys out there doing some really good work. I see Miss Dorothy Inez on here, and she's a coach and has some things going on. I believe I seen, of course, Miss Gina, she was on here, and we're working on some stuff with her to put some of her experience out, right? And so I'm here to encourage, and I'm not saying you got to have a podcast. I'm not saying you got to have anything, but I'm here to tell you, you are a creator, to be a creator as a creator, right? And I want you to be inspired by this individual person. I believe we met, you attended the services here and you attended the services in Atlanta, if I'm not correct.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
He's worked with Wayman Tisdale. I worked with Wayman Tisdale prior to working with, that's how I ended up working with Carlton. And then of course he's worked with all kind of A-listers in the world. And guess what? I have a bunch of A-listers right over here. You are an A-lister. You hear me? You are an A-lister. You might be listening, and I'm here to tell you, you are an A-lister in your own space and in your own world. Brother, give us some, because you telling this story. I want you to keep going in the state of consciousness, but what brought you to this and what brought you to all the things you've experienced there in LA, and then what is unfolding in your life so that people can understand that these things are happening. I had an epiphany the other day, and it told me, and it said, in this moment, in this hour, seems that we are feeling like a lot of people are falling. It seems like a lot of people have been exposed. It seems like all of this stuff is just going on, but I'm here to tell you, folks, it's just content, it's sensationalism, and we always had a lot of stuff going on. It's just all a matter of who's putting it out and who's exposing what, and we just want more of that. And what I know what we need is we need more absolute love. We need more of the expanded and expansion of consciousness, right? More of messages of hope and messages of manifestation, because I see it in a lot of people that are not in the church situation fighting against each other. I see a lot of young guys that are doing various levels of business and using the internet as a power, right? So that we can actually manifest the things that we desire, right? This is a community, right? You got to understand, you follow this. You follow Bishop Pearson, and you followed him. I don't know what you wanted from Bishop Pearson out of his good conversations that he would give you. And you'd be like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Like, what did you ever use in your life? Did you ever take it out and go apply it? Now it's time to be applicable. Now, sir, on the things that you've manifested in your life, sort of like this book, there's people right now that I know that are listening. They're working on themselves, and they're working on things, right, They're looking to be more, regardless of, and I'm going to tell you this 100%, regardless of how old you are, right? Even I would say the older you are, the more important it is that you begin to uh, um, write out some stuff, speak out some stuff, right? Because it's your freedom, it's your right, and you have done a lot of work to get to where you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So for you, I would like for you to talk to me about real briefly and quickly is when you were working on this, Bishop was supposed to forward. He was going to forward this, and things happened, whatever else. But what was the inspiration behind it? Like, and how did you commit to it?
Like I said, by growing up as a PK kid and just looking at the world today, a lot of people have left the church. A lot of people don't attend church regularly. So I thought if I tell my story, I know it would resonate with a lot of people that been in my situations. It may not be as like, but as like. Like I said, we grew up very strict, man. That does a lot to you, you know. Couldn't play sports. Wayman helped me whether he knew it or not, you know, trying to play basketball because, you know, it was a sin to play basketball at that time. But since Wayman, dad was a minister, as I mentioned in the book, and by Wayman being able to play, that was kind of my mantra to my dad. You know, it can't be a sin if Wayman get to play and his dad's a preacher and so forth. So, you know, by the time ninth grade came along, he finally gave in and let me play. But of course, come on, man, how you going to uh, uh, build those type of skills with those type of players at that age? I wouldn't stand. I was good. I had passion like everyone else, but me and my brother could never play, so we never would have known what that could have turned out to be. So don't get me wrong. Don't think I thought I was this big bad basketball and or football player. No, we just played across the street at the park with all the other kids. Everyone played in my backyard, from John Starks to Wayman Tisdale. Went to school with Spencer Tillman. I mean, that whole era right there, Fred Jones, Morris Renning, Jr. I mean, the list goes on and on. That era was a hell of an era. You had Greenwood, then you had the after Greenwood era. That's the era I grew up in. And like I mentioned in the book, I had no outlets. I was a musician. I could only play drums in church. I played in some of the garage bands and so forth, but I couldn't take my drums to play with these other bands. But thank God for Mother I.D. Wilson, mother of the Gap Band. She pretty much saved me because she was my outlet. I played the drums for the Oklahoma Northwest Church of God in Christ. I was the state drummer from adolescence, probably 10, 15 years. Played for Mother Wilson. Would go out of state with her, do her musicals. She taught me how to promote by me passing out her flyers and so forth for her musicals and other church programs. I watch her collect money. I watch her pay people. She just taught me the game. And as a youngster, she said, come on, we're going to the Gap Band concert. So my mom and them let me go. And the rest was history. I mean, I seen the lights. I seen all of that. She told me I can play for the Gap Band one day. And of course, I never did. But of course, I did promote many Gap Band shows and manage Robert Wilson at the end of his career. And all that. So I thank God for that woman, because without her, I wouldn't have had an outlet, or my life wouldn't have turned out for as really getting in the business side of the music industry and becoming a promoter and entrepreneur.
So that led up. So that was in the church, and then it led up to the next thing and the next thing, of course, in your life. Right. I believe there's always an unlikely individual or thing that's in our lives, right? That comes in our lives. And I believe there's a gifting amongst people that grew up like we did and have chosen, or is choosing us to release, to come out, right? Someone is asking in here, and they were talking about spirituality and psychic. And I will tell you real quick, spirituality and spirituality hacking, There's someone talking there, but the question was about psychic abilities. And so one of the things that in the church we would hear prophet, and that's approved in the church through prophets or prophecies. And a lot of those things can be, I think Bishop Ash gave a prophecy on Bishop that was pretty accurate in what's going to happen in his life. I see a lot of prophecies as they would like to tell some things that can happen in your future, but spirituality and psychic abilities. So paranormal psychology. So there's a science also that's going on with psychic abilities. And so maybe I will have some psychics, and there's some church psychics, people that were in the church that are now considered psychics and mediums. Now, a psychic ability can be a mediumship, which means that you can hear or you can communicate with the deceased. That is a very broad idea or understanding, because clairvoyance, clairaudience, I mean, like and so noetic sciences, I can really get deep into letting you know that there is a there's a science to it besides just a person. I always used to say, and I'll get off of it, but it's like you don't have too many prophets, right, going up in hospitals, or healers in hospitals, or
they're gonna collect an offering.
Yeah, prophets win in the lottery.
Because they're not gonna collect an offering. Why I'm gonna go heal everybody in the hospital? They're not gonna give me an offering.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get an offering, right? So there's offerings tied to it. The church has mystics and things of that nature. When we take it back to the Bible, and beyond, you have people that had abilities to have deeper intuition and be able to understand. They didn't have a lot of technology and things of that nature. And so, yes, you can be spiritual and you can have a deeper connection to the world. No different than what he's talking about when you said when you seen yourself being worked on, you are moving out of duality, right? We're in a duality world. We can move ourselves out of duality. And if you keep staying along this ride with expanded consciousness, I have no choice but to move in the direction of people moving into their giftings and gifts. And we don't just have people that's sitting back listening for the next prophet or the next Messiah or the next Carlton Pearson to get on stage. He's been here. He's done it. We have a lot of people. And I think there's going to be a lot
Carlton
more
is the only
people.
Jesus some would ever see. Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within inside you.
Yes.
Carlton did nothing but went into the palaces of his mind, just like Jesus did. The only thing, we got to see him and witness him.
Yes.
That's precious. We got to see this man from the beginning to the end.
Yes.
That's the only Jesus some would ever see.
Yes.
The nation of inclusion. Unless a seed fall into the ground and die, up. If the world only knew what's about to happen, boy, you finna give me out here. Call my keyboardist in here and come. Hey, if the world only knew what was about to happen, now that their seed is in the ground, it's time to wake up.
Wake up.
It's time to wake up. It's time to grow up. It's time to get out of those pews. It's time to know that your innate was good enough. That's what it's time. But let me calm down, man, because I'll grab a key.
Hey,
it's in my blood. I'm coaching.
It's in my blood too. It's in my blood. It's in my blood.
And that anointing is still here.
Hey,
it's right now. Oh. Oh, when you can sit back and be witness a word and know that you know and you'll know it. Oh my God. Okay, where we were we, man? Let me get back. Let me.
You the one that somebody already mentioned.
Hey, man, this is Joe's show. I'm trying to be
When
Respect.
the seed hits the ground, the seed's in the ground.
It's in the
Listen, the
ground.
seed's in the ground.
It's
And
in the
I'm here
ground.
to tell you, wake up. Everybody talk about being woke. And when I say wake up, the person that asked me the question about spirituality and psychic is just basically knowing, right? And not a deep knowledge and a deep knowing. And you know what? You can develop this,
You can
right?
develop.
You can develop. It is constantly developing. It's constantly showing itself amongst you, to you. You just don't have to, you don't have to woo-woo nobody. Let it work in you. Let it work around you, right? Let you get that parking space real quick. And you'd be like, how did I get that parking space? And then let you get that blessing that something else that happens. You're like, how did that happen? Right? Start taking notice. Everyone, start taking notice of the small little things that are unfolding in your life. Some of them look like problems. And just be like, I don't die, so let me experience this. What is
That's it.
going on?
That is it, David. You can't run away from it. You got to embrace every situation, good or bad, and evil. What most people have a problem with, Malachi, is understanding, trying to reconcile evil with God. What they have to understand is only one thing going on. I mean, the opposite side of good is evil. And people, it's almost like a virtue in church. Evil is almost like a virtue. You can't experience it. Jesus saved you from evil, so you never experience evil. So that's why a lot of people lose their mind, because they suppress things. Anything you suppress is going to continue, persist until you deal with it. So you have to understand God is, there's only one thing happening. So how do you qualify evil? We can only qualify evil in the phenomenon, the story, this right here, the play. But it's only one thing happening. So who are you evil to? Are you evil to those ants and termites and everything outside eating each other up? It's a beast out there. It's a lot of fighting going on out there. So I would rather say it's one thing happening, and that God of the Bible is not that evil, because it's all him. That's why you can stomach it, because it's all him. I mean, once this body quit metabolizing our memories and everything we learn, it's seeded back into the whole primordial waters of nature. And then it recycles and continues. That's that infinite game that I was telling you about. It continues, and it continues to create and create and create. You know, you can't destroy energy. Energy just transform or transmute. It's a few. Only one thing happening, like this crystal. Nature. Everything is made just like this. All sacred geometry shapes right here. So I just recommend, everyone go get the book. It's a excellent read. Like I said, it's a journey about my childhood. I came over a lot of adversities. It takes you into quantum physics, take you into the science, what is matter, what is experience. It goes through all of that. And then I kind of climax and give you some pointers on final revelation of what this look like now, what peace and happiness look like now. Just remember, your innate is good enough. God did not make a mistake when he made you. He is experiencing himself through you, as you, having fun as you. It's just all an experience. And it's going to continue. You didn't come here to be beaten down, go to church all your life, pay tithes, live a defeated life, waiting to die so you can go to a heaven. Where are you gonna go? Where are we going? Where is everybody trying to go to? This is it. You're already in it. It's only one thing happening. You're not a separate self. Don Jackson, this flesh body is in consciousness. I'm not separate from nature. The spirit of God, or whatever you want to call it, illuminates this animated body. So when this animated body quit metabolizing, flesh go back into the dirt, continue to transform into something else. Spirit, memories, things that you learned, goes back into the whole of nature, and it keeps going.
So that means we can tap into that.
We can tap into that. The physicists that won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2022, they have already established locality is not fixed. Nothing is real. Nothing is solid. Upon investigation, when you break anything down, break matter down to its common core, down to the subatomic particles, it's 99.9 empty space. Nothing is really real. In that sense, it's real, but it's not what it really appears to be. Because upon examination, it's not there. Everything is mentations. We're like in the skull of God, skull head of God, if you want to put it like that. And then just say you put this avatar headset on. Okay, now you in this dimension. The rainbow dimensions of frequencies. That's why you only get those colors in those frequencies. So you can only experience in this particular domain. But you need, but of course, consciousness needs this body mind in order to do that. But there's other dimensions out there that this body mind can't support that. It can't live in that. It's not built for that. So that's why once this body mind quit metabolizing, it's other stuff out there. It's other dimensions. It's other dimensions out there. You just can't experience in this particular dimension. That's it. Woo! Woo!
Bishop Pearson.
Malachi, I'm gonna slow down, man.
I love it. Hey,
I have to lead this for my podcast, man, because
well, you gotta warm it up, right?
We warm, we hot.
You warm it up. So the thing is
no, I'm just
yeah.
kidding, man. But I just give you guys a taste. You got to rethink this thing, man. You really do. Most of you guys are tired. You know you're not. You're tired. I know you're tired. I hear from you all the time, and the emails and messages of how the book been blessing a lot of people. Everyone has the same story. So I just recommend everyone go within. Whatever's working for you, let me say this, whatever's working for you, do that. However, if you want to be free and want to know exactly what's going on, and you just want to deal with essence and not tradition and not all these dogmas, then learn something new. But you're going to have to go within yourself. Now, let me tell you, deconstruction is a booger. You're going to have to really do some shadow work. And once you do some shadow work and deal with your past traumas and all that, and you really understand the essence of what I've already been saying, you understand you're not a separate self. Who should I say that I am? I am. Only one thing happening, and that one thing is me, you, and you, and all 7 billion of us. Y'all, everything is okay. There is no little burning hell. Now, if you can deliver yourself from a little burning hell, and if you can understand that you was not born, so therefore you'll never die, and then when you understand that it's only consciousness, and that you're not a individual, you are a doing, you are a process, everything is in motion. Always in motion. That's why. So anything that you can see, it will disappear one day. So if you can see it and it will disappear, you know that it's not you. Malachi.
He says shadow work.
Shadow work.
Shadow work. The last thing is understanding shadow work is understanding everything else that you said. If you want to understand anything else of what he just said, you got to understand the shadow. The shadow is that other side of you that you really would want to fight with if somebody else was to bring it up about you, right? Things that you got to, the past traumas and dramas and that deconstructing stuff, right? The fact that even Bishop Pearson said there's a lot that he can't. And I believe to this point, and it's been told to me, is the fact of for this to go to the next space or the next level. We can shout, jump, dance, sing, go back to the church, but I'm here to tell you, and I'll make it official in the sense that I've done so much churching all my life. You know what I mean? I've done so much churching, and you know, between the I could still feel the church, and I could still we can do it with each other, but we don't need suits and in a Hammond B3 and right, and then people and then praise music and all that. You know what I mean? That's cool if that's what you do. That's cool, but I'm just here to tell you. When you start dealing with when you start dealing with the self and you start dealing with those things that you possibly need to let go of, what do I need to let go of? Start going within, right? Start meditating. Meditation to teach you more than anything, right?
Anything.
You know, those thoughts coming and everything else you're dealing with. And you know what else? I hate to tell you, but that heart attack taught you a lot, right? The stuff that you experience will teach you a whole lot. Your own demise, you know, Bishop was right before he began to transition. He wanted to talk a lot about mortality. And he talked about mortgage and how mortgage means, you know, a lifelong payment, you know. And so the thing is like, if we look at our mortality and we know that there's this where we begin to not metabolize and we go into, right, there's something that we could pull from that and begin to rise up in this. So no different than this expanded conscious community that is very dear to me. Every one of you guys are very dear. It was very important to Bishop Pearson. And I know there's a whole bunch of you that may not even be listening, but that really want a lot of what Bishop represented and what he said and all of his talks. And you know what? People have asked me, like, you miss Bishop? And I'm like, there's parts of Bishop I miss, but there's a lot of parts of Bishop I don't miss because of the fact that I thank God that he left so much material and so much things. So if I want to hear him, I can at least go listen. I at least can hear him. I can listen to certain words and I go listen. But the thing is the more that I begin to just sit back and miss him, the less that I feel that I'm able to do to move forward. Right. The more I was the same way with Wayman Tisdale, I was working with him and it was just like, how long are you going to sit back and do that? That's what I felt in my spirit. How long are you going to sit back? No different with Bishop. How long are you going to sit back and do this? Are you going to sit back and just, yes, I miss him. But at the same time I need to change that miss of this spirit. Of this flesh person and see if I can convert and move into the spirit and essence of who he was. If I need to dig up some videos, but then how is that impacting or empowering you or moving you forward? Right? How is that doing something to you and motivating you? Right? How is that energy? Because that energy is here. It's here. It's here. It's everywhere. There's so many, it's everywhere. You can tap in and tune into a lot. And I appreciate you, brother Don Jackson. I appreciate you for your time. I appreciate you for following through with this presence, right? Of writing this and coming up to me during the event. There was nothing that blessed me more than to put in a lot of work over the years with Bishop. And to go to his services and people come up to me because there was I really wasn't expecting that. I figure I would get to meet some people, but I really wasn't expecting it. So everyone that came up to me, it was a blessing to to f- to to feel the connection, right, that I had to Bishop, and then the connection that I have to every one of you. I wish I could actually see individual people. You come here, you do this, and then you go back to you're in your house, right?
Right.
The beauty of this medium and this method, right, of being able to do this, and I really look forward to. I like to speak to different people and talk to different people, and when you have his book is Prodigal, Leaving Church and Finding God, right?
Absolutely.
And you could go. It's Amazon, and also you can go find him at Mr. Don Jackson on all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram.
Go to the website, mrdonjackson.com. Purchase your book today. Matter of fact, Malachi, if you don't mind, if you want a signed copy, what we'll do, and today only, if you want a signed copy, you can cash app me. And in the memo and note, put your address. Of course, I'll already have your name. I'll give it to my assistants, and we'll send you a signed copy. How about that?
That sounds good. What's the Cash App?
The Cash App, of course, $ Green Room Talent. And once you put it in there, you'll see me pop up.
I'm gonna make sure. So make sure it's right here. Is it spelled just like that?
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna do green room talent, but you also need to make sure in the memo that you put your address. Make sure you put your address, and I believe it's $30
for the hard copy. If you want the e-copy, of course, I can't sign the e-copy, but you can purchase it on Amazon or my website as well. The e-copy is only $10, and the hard copy is $30.
Right, and it's really, and when he says hard copy, it is a hardback book.
Hardback book.
Yeah, it's a hardback book with this smooth look. See that picture?
That's him.
That's
him. Like my daddy.
Been in the entertainment business. One thing I like about it, even you right now, is you are being you. You are being 100%. This is who you are, right? The elements of who you are, especially,
I've been me all my life. Everybody out there know. They've been calling me prodigal, black sheep, whatever. I just live I block everybody. I've been living my life, and God been blessing me.
Yes.
Just loving it. Now I'm finna give back. I'm finna give back, man. And I got some deconstruction and workshops that we'll be doing. We got a retreat that's going to be happening this summer in Palm Springs, a wellness music retreat where we're going to bring a lot of the major celebrities in. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to really tell you more of the details as we roll that out.
Absolutely. I'll have to have
One
you
other thing, we got this stage play, Prodigal stage play. That's going to be coming out the end of the year. So we got a lot going on, man. So you guys need to stay close. Follow me on all social media. Definitely stay tuned for the podcast as we roll out all this information. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you let me know. And one of the things that I like to do within the expanded conscious community, as I always say, it's a community of communities. I think Bishop left us, each other. And, he told me, he said, hey, you can, are we going to shut it down, or you want to just carry it on? Right. And so I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm carrying it on. I thought I had that video.
You're doing an excellent job, man. I just want to commend you. You're doing an excellent job. You were meant for such a time as this. God prepared you for such a time as this. He assigned you to Bishop for such a time as this. And Malachi, I don't know, but you need to put, how can they give to expanded consciousness? Bishop is gone now. It still costs money to run this particular program. So I would like for you to put up whatever form of donation that you guys may have and give the people opportunity, because we need to support this platform.
Yes. Well,
We need to support the platform to keep it going so he can continue to bring on guests such as
yes, and
myself
people.
and many others. And I noticed when we talked, you wanted to do some pop-ups across the country. So that takes money. And
Yes,
all that takes money.
absolutely. We have the new dimensions too, which goes to the family, right? And it goes to right now. It's going to the family, and I need to get it solidified. I'm going to just one of the things is I'm gonna just go ahead and put this other Cash App here. This is my Cash App, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do is this software, like all this stuff is just here from Bishop's website. All this stuff it's here, and so, but I'm gonna put this up here just because one of the things it'll help me do is I think it's probably like $300 a year for this software or something like that, and I'm going to have to renew this, and I'm probably going to have to renew some other things. Eventually, I want to get it together even more. I know there's a lot that's going on with the way what Bishop has left, and I know with his estate. And so, but what I want to do with this, I'm putting this on here because I really want to make sure that I keep this software going. And small little things that we have here within the community. And yes, I do want to have some other things come and I'm working on some cost and things of that nature. And hopefully we can have people like yourself, right, be able to attend and be able to bring what you have going on. And that's what I really want, is bring everybody together. And then what happens is everybody gets to talk about, like, all right, what do you have going on? Because the thing is we really are a small group. When you really think about it, it's really a small group that gets to actually take who we are out to the world, right?
Absolutely.
To the rest of the world, because there's millions of people that want to deconstruct, millions of people that want to get to know and understanding what does inclusion mean? Am I included? Right? How is God,
safe in his arms?
Safe in it.
That you're safe. Everybody just want to know that they're safe. That's all. You're safe. Follow me. You're safe. I don't need the tithes. You don't pay the tithes.
Right. And when you cash up, I will make sure I will mention you back. The New Dimensions $2 that goes to Bishop and his estate and his kids. And I'll see what's going on with, I need to check and see what's going on with that in the big grand scheme of things. Because I like to recognize and let people know, like, where this is going to or what's happening or things of that nature.
Absolutely, man. And I didn't want to overstep my bounds. I just know this needs to continue, and money needs to flow. It can't flow if it doesn't have a faucet to turn on. So you turn the faucet on so we can flow. It has to flow.
Otherwise, we get turned off.
It has to have a purpose. Money magic. It has to have a purpose. Follow me. I'm going to show you how that works. But right now, I need y'all to hit that Cash App right now. Hit the Cash App so we can pay for this software. We can do that, brother. We can do that. We can do that.
That's truly awesome. Truly awesome. I can't wait to stay connected. For man. Sure. This is the first time that's ever been done, to be honest. So
hey man, this is awesome. It's the first for everything, man. It's a new day. Like I said, the seed is in the ground, and Bishop had many successors.
Yeah,
many different form and fashion. So hey, anything you guys do, man, that I can help, I'm here to support you.
Absolutely. Most definitely. I think we're really good. Last thing I wanted to highlight is the fact that I really, really love this. I want to give some of these, awakening to who you are and seeing the goodness of life, the wells within you. I am enjoying this. That is a good word, Miss Carolyn.
That's nice,
Miss
Carolyn.
Dorothy Inez. Life is always happening for you, never to you. Man, you got listen at you. Man, look at Mr. Rubin. I am about to jump out my body. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my
We're all
goodness.
connected. We're all connected.
Miss Dorothy, she is awesome. She's always helped. Look, I love this logo. We don't die. That's the awesomeness of this life form. Man,
Transformation.
let them
You
use
take-
you. These are great. Miss Denise Washington. Yes. And Miss Velma has been with us for a long time. I am awakening now. I really love it. This was a message also from Miss Dorothy. Manifestation of Christ, of conscious Christ within. Oh, and she's I think she mentioned, I wanted to see that, of course, transpersonal. I love transpersonal. Of course, I do a lot of that. So she's into psychology. This is the stuff that I want to move us into. I want to move us into some things that are tangible, things that are happening, things that are giving us the ability to actually use this world, understanding that if we're not in this, if, the things you're talking about, if it is, as you say, that means I can tap in and tune in. I can tap in and tune in. I can begin to morph and move and create. And I say science is the language God given us to manipulate Earth, right?
That part.
Fossils, and create from this fossil, we create that. And from this, we create that. These people are making billions and trillions of dollars on drilling into the earth, right? Drilling into the earth, deep into the earth, and in being able to extract multiple items. When you dig for oil, I'm in the oil country. I got some clients that are been in that space. When you get them people and they extract that into the earth, they don't just pull out gasoline. They pull out crude. And from that crude, they break that crude down to all sorts of different things. And we use those items. Some of the richest places in the world, like Dubai, the whole point of that whole entire infrastructure of that city with all that money has to do with they take from the earth, take a special process, and then as they extract from the earth, they take that and distribute it and manufacture it into various petroleum. That's Vaseline, grease.
Mhm.
That's 100% petroleum. But anyways, I'm getting all deep. I'm sorry, but I just want
No
y'all
problem,
to know.
man.
I want y'all to know that they got us in these churches going crazy and then taking off and then going back to our jobs, right? While they're being, and then you go and you work for this man that's all innovative, or these people that's doing the thing, and they ain't worried about you and your church, right? You come here, you do the job, and then I pay you your check. Cool. We're moving into a space of understanding and knowing that's giving you the absolute ability. Not only I'm not talking about manifesting stuff, but I'm also talking about healing. As we take a deep breath and we heal our bodies and we lower our blood pressure and do everything. You could say that again. The dark night of the soul is no joke. All right. That is beautiful. Thank you guys for your comments. Thank you for I just seen this. This is the first. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I will make sure that I comment back to you individuals that have truly, truly, truly made a way for this to continue. And not only that, I come from the business world. And so when I know I've given a lot, but it's like when a person gives, I just believe in that reciprocity, where it's like that you give, we give back, we give back, and we just keep it flowing. Right. So I'm going to keep a note of whoever did this, so that as we continue, right, we continue. I don't know who's vested, right, into this platform, who's vested into where we take it from here, because I believe everyone that's tapped into and connected to it is going to be tremendously blessed. And what I do for a living is as I coach, I help individuals, typically businesses, but I help individuals, businesses, and people with their thoughts and with their goals and whatever they have in life, what they want in life, what they're doing in life. And we work on those particular things. In the spiritual side, we do that in terms of helping you progress spiritually on purpose, right? You are processing and you are going through it, but when you want to do it on purpose, that's when you begin to ask the questions. Right now, I'm running on my channels is the journey of the divine authentic self, connecting to the journey of the divine authentic self. So I'm saying now I want to just not just go through my journey. I'm ready to document my journey. I'm ready to experience my journey. I'm ready to actually pay attention to the journey. I'm ready to move things in the journey, right? Move things spiritually by doing the meditations and seeking and allowing things to flow, and then doing the shadow work. Man, brother, you got me fired up. You on my you
Man, I
on you
appreciate you.
you own my stuff right here. So I appreciate you. We appreciate everyone that's out there. We appreciate you, brother. That is Prodigal, leaving church and finding God. It's on his website. You also got his Cash App. Bless you guys. We appreciate you. And next, I have Christian that's coming. You guys remember Christian. Last thing I'd like to say too, for all the you guys that are on here, Sunday, Tulsa, Oklahoma, D.E. Polk is going to be at All Souls. That's this Sunday. He's also doing a session of some sort on Saturday. You'd have to go to the All Souls website. But this coming Sunday in Tulsa, Oklahoma, D.E. Polk is going to be at All Souls, I think at 10 o'clock and 11:30. And I'm going to be there, right? I'll be signing autographs. No, I'm joking. I will just be giving hugs. That's what my autograph is. I'll be giving hugs because I love to hug and I love to connect to people. And so I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to attend anybody that's from Tulsa, right? That's in this area, to make sure you tap in and tune in. And we appreciate you, brother. And until next time, guys, brother, I'll speak to you. I'll close this out and make sure all my messages here. I like to this is awesome. Yes. Thank you so much. All right. Until next time, guys, brother, I'll see you just here in a second. We'll get this closed out. You guys have a good weekend and a good week.
I'm no longer trying to escape from the curses I was born to break. Finding a way to overcome my fears. I am strong enough. There might be some bumpy roads ahead, but I'm equipped. I've learned some great lessons. The power lies in me. Now I see so clearly. All my steps are destined. I'm going in the right direction. Gotta keep believing in myself. Gotta keep going, don't give up. Yes, I'm gonna see this through. Yeah, I put my trust in you. The only way out is to go within. Now I see you're my best friend. Yes, I finally found my peace. I know that I can trust in me. connected to a source that never runs out. I am connected to a love that never runs out. I am connected to a source that never